In yesterday's video, I talked through a Bitcoin trade, seeking to give you a little bit of insight into how I go about placing trades. There were some fantastic comments, and TF Theta also did really well yesterday. Well done, my friend. I'm very grateful for your comments because they help to guide me to create content that works for you. Based on yesterday's comments, I thought it could be a really good idea how I look at specific selection on a day-to-day basis. So let's go and have a look at that. But first, let's look through the market so that you can maintain your synchronization. Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back CTKS family. Here, you'll learn how to become fearless inside financial markets. This will assist you to become more of a financial and emotional blessing to yourself and those you love. If you like the content, please subscribe and smash that like button. All the indicators that I use on the daily video come from the service at ctksmethod.org. Let's run the numbers. When looking at the crypto market, it's important to start with total crypto market cap. This is literally the market capitalization of all of the cryptos in the crypto space. What is it showing us right now? It's really difficult to tell unless we understand what market structure is doing. We can see that there was quite substantial support around this area, once resistance, and now turning into support. If the bulls gain control inside the crypto market, we would expect a big push up to this 1.566 trillion. But of course, we know that it can also consolidate and also come down. Before I select anything, I make sure that I have three simultaneous strategies playing out at all times: a down strategy, a neutral strategy, and an up strategy. For example, when you look at total crypto market cap, the predominant probability is that we're going up, but of course we could go down, so I have that strategy as well. Inside the crypto market, we know no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. If we're interested in the alts, we need to look at total and we need to look at Bitcoin. But what we need to see are the structural levels. So let's have a look at what's happening with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been trading for more than 5,200 days. Structural levels give you the most statistically significant support and resistance levels inside the market. We know the price is always moving in a wave, and yesterday I did some sells just around this particular area. Some buys here, some sells here, and I've done a couple more sells up there as well. What you're consistently seeking to do is to get in when price retrace, buy on red, sell on green, buy on red, sell on green, because you move with the market's momentum. But here, we're trying to gain a better understanding and a better picture as to what is happening. Bitcoin is currently getting over a series of structural resistance levels and seeking to turn them into support. We've seen that it's been trying again and again and again and again and again and again. This is actually quite good news for Bitcoin and also the crypto market because we compare this across to total crypto market cap. Bitcoin is currently trading at $40,113. We can see a structural support level at $40,060. If we gain momentum and total crypto market cap gains momentum as well, Bitcoin will be seeking to head up to at least this 40,800 level. If it doesn't manage to get above, if the bears maintain control over the market, we could consolidate or we could come down to these lower levels of structural support. Always bear in mind, price doesn't go only up and only down. It goes all over the place. It's just always moving in a wave. You want to surf those price waves profitably. Just a bit of a trivia, what rule number is price moves in waves? It's also quite good to look at liquidations, especially how liquidations have been progressing over time. For quite a while, we've had a series of long liquidations that's pushed the price down and down and down. The shorts are well overdue for some short liquidations, which would make them cover and buy and push the price up. You can see when short liquidations occur, this is what you're looking at, price going up. But when the long liquidations come in, you would expect price to go down. That's just the way the market works. What you can see is that we're slowly building up a bit of a picture as to what is occurring across the market. And we can see in the past hour, there's been a mass of short liquidations. And from a perspective of 24 hours, there's more short than long liquidations. Across the past week and a half, there's been so many long liquidations. It's about time for the shorts to have their turn. And when you look at the, let me go down a bit further. When you look at this short and long liquidation chart, you can see the shorts are always getting liquidated and the longs are always getting liquidated. It's which one is getting liquidated more than the other. You will never literally see a day when only longs get liquidated or only shorts. When you're looking at selection, a lot of times people will go into the market and say, what is the greatest gainer and what is the greatest loser? There's really nothing wrong with doing this if you want to gain an understanding of what's moving and what's moving in the opposite direction. It can be good because it can give you some understanding and some ideas as to grouping. But typically, if you want to focus on a greatest gainer, what typically happens is people tend to get in around the top and then price moves against them and they sell. You've got to be really careful with greatest gainers and greatest losers. When it comes to selection, when you focus on a handful of things, you're going to do much, much better than if you're scattered and your attention never picks up the nuances. What I mean by that is when you look at total crypto market cap, you look at Bitcoin, and then you start to understand from the tier 1 how these charts are moving. Make sure that you're doing your cheat sheet each day. Make sure that you understand how the yields, the DXY, the Forex pairs are impacting, how gold and silver are moving. How the major market indices such as the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq and some components of those, the big ones, are moving. And Microsoft has been doing really well, and Nvidia as well. The upper bounds to those indicators have been released. What you will find if you focus on just a handful of the ones that, for example, the projects that can just take a massive amount of money in, you're thinking like a large account. There are a lot of really small projects out there and they can take a very tiny amount before they fall over and you get an incredible spread on your bid ask, which basically means you're in the hole. After looking through total crypto market cap, Bitcoin and all the associated charts and doing your cheat sheet, you're now in a position to look for opportunities. And what you want to see is strength, because if you don't find strength, you're finding weakness. And if you find weakness, you're probably finding losses. I'll just parallel Ethereum's chart to BNB. For example, when we look at BNB, notice this negative pressure across. But when we look at Ethereum, look at this stabilization. It's a very different chart. You can see inside BNB, the overall momentum is to the downside. When you look at Ethereum, it's more consolidation, and that's much better. But then again, if you look at something else like XRP, that is to the upside. You can see 3 different charts and 3 different behaviors. What about Solana? When we look at Solana, it's a really good looking chart. It's got so much power in it. It's completely positive. When we're looking at Litecoin, we can see some positivity, but this is nothing like Solana. DOGE is not too bad, but again, it's just slightly positive and more of a consolidation stance, not positive like others. Bitcoin Cash has been looking very, very interesting. Look at all this consolidation that's going up here at the current time. If we look at ADA Cardano, that's looking pretty cool as well. We can see that there's been quite a degree of recovery, but this just gives you a directional stance. It doesn't help you much with the structure, and the structure is the key. Now we need to cross-compare back to Bitcoin, and what do we see here? When we turn on our structural levels, Bitcoin is seeking to get above that structural level and start to move into the positive fresh air gap. If that occurs, all the alts will be pulled in that direction. When looking at Ethereum, we need to gain an understanding of structure, especially strong structure, and around that 2209 mark is particularly good. Ethereum is currently 22 and 37. It does have structural resistance at 22.42. That's something to be aware of because price could come into that structural resistance, pierce it, and then move back to structural support. So always bear in mind that wave motion of price. You can see it time and time again, waving up, waving down, waving up, waving down, waving up, and so forth and so on. When we look at BNB, Binance Coin, and we throw on our structural levels, it's just hanging on there by its fingernails. It's currently 293 and 50 cents, just literally above a structural support / resistance. It's not confirmed yet at 292 and 90 cents. When you look at this price behavior, one thing that you want to keep in mind is the question why. Why isn't Binance Coin, BNB, doing as well as the others? And if you're seeing something go really positive, you should ask the question as well, why? Why is this going more positive than the others? When looking at XRP, XRP is looking really quite interesting. And now we throw on our structural levels and we can see that XRP currently trading at 51.93 is well above a now structural support line and a confirmed one at that at 51.36. It's seeking to break through this 51.76 mark. Note that it could come back and retest it. That's why even if price is going up, we're buying in levels and layers down where we feel it's appropriate. When looking at Solana is just a beast. Let's pop on the structural indicator. Okay, now we can see exactly why Solana has taken off, because it broke through this 87.09, one structural resistance level, and that's looking like it's going to confirm it as support. That puts into play the next structural resistance at 91.78, and of course it could go higher. And if the bears get in control, they'll seek to push it down to structural support, or preferably through that to the lower structural support at 84.35. Solana is currently 89 and 28 cents. Having a look at Litecoin, and let's see where the structure is on Litecoin. We can see a similar thing to what's happening with Solana. Litecoin was seeking to get through this structural level of resistance at 65.96. It tried quite a few times and was rejected. We can see this one where it was rejected and then pulled itself back to structural support. When you have these structural support and resistance levels called SLs or Stanfield levels, you literally have X-ray vision on where the market is heading. You're not guessing anymore. You know that all of these structural levels have been accounted for in terms of total price action right across from the start of the chart. Litecoin is currently trading at 66.37 and its next structural resistance level is at 66.72, and there's a lighter one up just slightly higher. Having a look at DOGE, and this is the process that I go through. Every morning, every time I start to trade, I want to know where the market is heading. If a particular project is getting through a structural resistance level and seeking to turn it to support, or if it has strong structure underneath it, I especially love to look for positive fresh air gaps, because that means that the price can literally explode upwards. We can see that DOGE hasn't confirmed this structural resistance as structural support just yet, and it's currently trading at 79.50. If the bulls get control of DOGE, it could do incredibly well because it has this fresh air gap above it. And don't forget what's happening inside total crypto market cap as well. Bitcoin Cash looks really fascinating. What's cooking with Bitcoin Cash? We can see that even after the sell-off, we came down into safety nets of support, trampolines that bounce the price back. But now we've got a lot of structural overhead that Bitcoin Cash is trying to get through. If it does get through, And it's not confirmed it yet, but it's getting close. A confirmation would be trading above this 237.70 on a sustainable basis. That might mean that it wicks down and then starts to come up. When we see something like that, it could explode very, very quickly up to the 245 mark. So just please bear that in mind. It's currently 236.30. Let's have a look at ADA. Popping on the structural resistance and support levels. What do we see here? This is looking really, really interesting. We can see that currently Cardano is 47.70, and when we look a little bit higher, the next structural resistance is at 49.83. We've managed to maintain a very good structural support level that is utterly confirmed. Now, all we need to do is to see total crypto market cap and Bitcoin starting a bit of bullish momentum, and we would expect to hit this 50-cent mark. Wow, ADA, go for it. But of course, we have two simultaneous strategies, not just an up strategy, because when you have only one strategy, it can only go up, or it can only go down, or it can only go flat. And let's face it, not many people have that one. What happens is that we just basically trick our own brains into thinking, I'm going to miss out. I have to get all in or get all out. You don't want to do that. I've started outlining a very basic process that you can follow through on a daily basis. It doesn't take much time to do this when you get used to it. But the key is, I want you to be able to fish and feed for a lifetime. That means I would like you to think about what out of those specific projects would you pick and why? A lot of YouTubers create dependency. I want to create independence for you. I want you to be able to look at the markets and just assess where they're going and to make your own decisions. It's really important, especially inside crypto, as the markets change so very, very quickly. So long as you know your structural support and structural resistance levels, you're ahead of 95% of people. I would also suggest that you specialize. Just put your attention across a handful of big projects. If your attention is scattered, you will be scattered too. Your profits will be scattered. You can make far, far more from just focusing in. And if you look at yesterday's video, you can make incredible annualized return on investments by just getting in and out of different projects. Always seek to keep a really positive attitude as well, understanding that this world wants you to succeed. It's absolutely unequivocally correct. When we make losses, and we always make losses, this is just the nature of the market. Don't worry about not making a loss. Worry about doing it again. When you encounter losses, it's just because you've violated one of the rules of the market. Maybe you got too excited over something. Maybe you followed the mainstream narrative. It's easy to get caught up into hype, and we all do from time to time. So make sure that you're very kind to yourself. Focus on your learning. If you focus on your learning, you're going to do really, really well. Financial markets are not like a test at university. You do not have to score 100%. And the truth is, when people say they have a 100% win rate, it's just rubbish. Professionals actually scale in at a loss. That's why they buy on the right side of the percentage. And the big ETF funds have been doing exactly that. They've been buying billions and billions of dollars, and the price is going down. And the value of those funds is going down, but they know what they're doing. Unfortunately, the financial world is full of such incredible levels of misinformation. Typically what people want to do is they want a very big return for 0% loss, and they go after things that are so incredibly risky. They hear stories about how other people have done it. You cannot be consistently profitable on luck. If you want to make a profession and you want to build up your skill, you need to focus. Also, learning the rules of the market is incredibly important. Many people want to become rich because they want other people to respect them. But if they don't respect themselves at the start, nobody will respect them when they're wealthy. Money doesn't change people, it just reveals who the person is. Therefore, with positive excellence, we seek to be the best people that we can be, seek to bring our best selves into every day. We do that primarily through gratitude and kindness, and it's kind of unusual for anybody to be talking about gratitude and kindness, especially on a crypto channel. But hey, if you want a good life, this is the path that we want to follow. We've seen so many people being brought down inside the main markets and inside crypto because they lacked integrity, they lacked decency, they lacked kindness. They are red flags. Many people think that the rich simply tell off the poor. They are not rich, they're poor, those people that speak that way. Why is that? Because everybody is valuable and everybody's important. It's also really important to get your mindset correct when you get an unexpected negative outcome, and this is across your entire life. How do you react? Do you react with anger and hurt, or do you react trying to understand, become aware of the problem and gain insight? Do you focus on blaming, which is simply the act of shifting guilt and shame outside ourselves onto some other target so that we have no responsibility? Or do you seek to learn? Are you kind to yourself? Do you say, I'll do better next time, thereby empowering yourself? It doesn't matter how successful you are outside the markets, outside financial markets. Financial markets will not care. They never know you. They cannot respect you. They cannot do anything other than operate according to their own laws. One of those laws is to get specialized. Another law is to get synchronized. Another law is to understand the pulse of the market, just like we did today together. Please let me know in the comments if these kind of videos help, and if you have any other suggestions or questions, please let me know. I really want to help you out. If you would like the structural levels and the TradingView indicators that I use, please pop across to ctksmethod.org. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.